Ah, finally. So we will try that one again, guys. I started the stream as soon as I got into the lobby at 25 past. It's been running for the last 10 minutes telling me I'm live, but every time I've gone to search for it, it's not been there. So I've restarted it. So as I was saying, welcome to Tier 2 round number 9 here at Silverstone in Great Britain. I'm your host this evening, King Lockman. So currently then, Ehal won at 26.2, Kane Lowry won at 26.2, Bonnie Val won at 26.2 also. Top 3 really closely followed by Kieran, Walco, Slade, Mechanical, Wiccan. Wiccan has rejoined the league. Nice to see him back in. I know we haven't exactly seen eye to eye in the past, but it is nice to see drivers I've raced against in the past back in the league. So welcome back to Wiccan. Carl Trim in PA, Al Jobbo P9, Jack Whittle P10, Paranoid P11 currently, Scottish Ninja P12, P13 for Clay, Dylan, Curly, Daryl, Cavalis, Ralphie, Ashik and Gameful all yet to set a lap time. Let's have a little look at the comments. Evening Mechanical, evening Pint Size and Wet Sprint, by the way. Thank you Mechanical, much appreciated. So just a few things quickly before we get into the nitty gritty. First of all, this is going to be a short qualifying session followed by a sprint race to determine the grid for the feature race. Second of all, congratulations to what was known as CDR Ninja is now Silent Ninja on the birth of his child. Congratulations to him and his partner, and all the best to them two guys. Well, all the best to Ninja and his partner for the future of parenthood. And lastly, this track means quite a lot to the admin team and quite a few drivers. This is our close friend Snitzy's tribute track. It holds a very, very special place in a lot of our hearts. Obviously, as you can tell, probably just from my voice, this is just a tough little comment just to make, really. He was a top guy and is sorely missed by us all. So hopefully this race can live up to the hype that we expect. We give a good showing for a CDR legend in Snitsy. God rest your soul, Snitsy. So that is the doom and gloom out the way, guys. Let's get back to it now. Clay, my first quali run on wheel, not great. Where's that pad at? I'll tell you what, Clay, you're probably quicker than what I am on pad, on wheel. So Clay is using his new wheel. He's had the wheel and his rig for a fair bit of time now, but just hasn't had the monitor or the time to really set it all up. So he's finally he's finally onto his wheel. I'm not expecting to see him back on his pad for a while. Ashik then jumps up there with a 125.8. Just a few guys currently on outlaps. Good evening, Osso. I'm hoping to have a good one as well, buddy. Hoping you are too if you're racing. I don't think you are you? So yeah, hopefully it's a better week for me than last week. A few connection dropouts. So let's see what this race brings us this evening. Usually some pretty decent racing around here. Didn't quite catch Howe's sector splits, but he's spun on the last two corners anyway. That's unfortunate for him. Kieran is out of fuel. Wicken is on a lap. And he's almost 3/10 underneath his time. So let's see what his final sector split is going to be. Whether he can keep up that improvement. When he does improve, almost 5/10, puts himself P5 currently. So Howe over on his time as well. There's a few still not set times, which is TT Dylan Gavin. And Curly is on a hot lap. And Curly has invalidated. Jack Whittle through sector 1, was that? No. That was an improvement of 8/10 on his last lap. That puts himself P7. Let's see what Clay can do. As he opens up the DRS. He's marginally on his time. It doesn't appear like Clay made any sort of improvements. So all the guys just sitting in the pits at the moment. I'd imagine that we're going to have a massive influx of people in a minute coming out of the pits. In just a second. Let's stay on board with Ashik for the time being. Let's see if he's making any sort of improvement through Sector 2. He is. He's 2 temps up still. As he comes around the final corner, he sets a 1:25.6 from Ashik. Good lap time from him. Ehale and Kane Lowry are currently out on outlaps, as well as Bonneville. Need to find about 6 to 7 temps each to challenge pole. So we'll see what happens. Kane has started his laps. We'll stay on board with him for the first part. See what sort of lap time he can produce. And he is half a tenth better off through Sector 1. Ehale has just started his lap as well. So we'll see what Ehale's first sector split is in a second. I think Kane Lowry is going to cross the second sector split before then. He is. Kane Lowry's almost 3/10 better off. Ehale is a 10th better off currently. Bonnie is a 10th better off as well. So they are all improving. But by how much? So Kane is coming around the final corner now. An improvement of 5 tenths puts himself P2 currently. Let's see what Ehale is going to be doing. Ehale is a 10th and a half up. Needs to find more. What's Bonnie? Bonnie is almost 3/10 up. Ehale needs to nail this last 2 to 3 corners to stand a chance of challenging for pole. And he improves by 4 attempts, puts himself P3. Hawkeye Slade jumps in there 1:26.2 P4. Bonnie knocks him back down. Bonnie goes P4 1:26.1. Gainful is the only one, and he's not on a lap. So that is your short qualifying session over. Ashik P1, Kane P2, Ehale P3, Bonnie P4, Hawkeye Slade P5, Wicken P6, Mechanical P7, Kieran P8, Jack Whittle P9, Carl Trim P10, Gainful P11, Cavalice P12, Ralphie P13, Dylan P14, Daryl P15, El Jobbo P16, Paranoid P17, Curly P18, Scottish Ninja P19, and Clay on his new wheel P20. We'll just wait for Game 4 to get in the pits. So just confirmation then. Ashik P1, Kane P2, Ehel P3, Bonnie P4, Augusley P5, Wiccan P6, Mechanical P7, Kieran P8, Jack Whittle P9, Coltrane P10, Gameful P11, Cabalist P12, Ralphie P13, Dylan P14, Daryl P15, El Jobbo P16, Paranoid P17, Curly P18, Scottish Ninja P19, and Clay P20. So we will have a look at tyre choices for everyone. I'd imagine it is just, well, you're either going to have the wets or you're going to be going with the inters, but I'd imagine it's going to be the wets for a lot of the guys, unless someone feels brave. We've lost an Aston already. So it'll be interesting to see what the feature race is. It will also be interesting to see what sort of setups people have picked, whether they've gone for a wet setup knowing that it's going to be a wet race, or a dry setup for the dry quali. And just wait for the grid to form back up. I'm just going to open my drink quickly before this race starts. And we are 5 red lights are out and away we go. Ashik getting a half decent start there. Oh, as he goes off, bit of carnage. Ashik and Kane come together, and that's just let Bonnie slip right the way through the field there. We've got quite a few people that are getting involved and stuff here. That's just absolute carnage. People are off the track. Clay's dropped right down the order again. He was one of the cars that were off the track, I think. Absolute carnage going on. As we have a caution in sector 1. Is that Gainful? Gainful has had an excursion. Dylan also has had a little excursion. Hawk and Jack Whittle are having a little battle. So much going on at the moment, guys. Hard to keep track of. So Kieran having a little look at Hawk now as well. But Mechanical is having a look at Kieran at the same time. As we've got a yellow flag. Looks like Scottish Ninja. Scottish Ninja it is. Has had a little turning round. Bit of an issue, bit of a spin. It's unfortunate for him. Bonnie then completely out there on his own currently. Although Kane has reeled him back in again. As we've had another incident in sector 1, or Gainful and Curly of pit. I'd imagine they're for front wings. So, yeah, I think Curly got a front wing, Gainful's got a front wing. So look at the position changes then. Jack Whittle up 6, Carl up 5, Paranoid up 9, Ashik down 10. Real bad start for Ashik there. Sort of went off track. Very turn 1, had a little coming together with Kane, and then it's sort of just fallen back through the order as the race has gone on. He's actually down 13 positions, not 10. So him and Hawko Slade are currently your biggest losers in the start of this tier 2 race. Ashik getting sideways coming out of that little corner. So still not a lot going on at the moment. Claire's in the pits, so I'd imagine that He needed a front wing also. So sort of Bonnie just controlling the pace out there at the moment. A few little gaps forming out front, and then the midfield seems to be quite compact. Obviously no DRS in the wet, so it's not like it's in a DRS train as such. This is just pure pace. Still not too much to go off of. Well, Scottish Ninja has had another coming together with the wall. It's unfortunate for him, but that does bring out the first safety car of this evening, as Ninja is just struggling to get it turned back around again. There we go then, guys. Safety car in this lap message has appeared, so we will get 2, maybe 3 laps of racing in. There we go then, Bonnie's got them underway. It's a good little restart from Bonnie. Nice and clean. So I'm interested to see how Curly and Gameful get on them inters. As Paranoid makes it past Kieran. Let's see if Curly and Gameful can be competitive. Curly looks like he's all over the back of Clay, and Gameful's all over the back of Curly. So Jack Whittle doing really well up there in P3 again. Really disappointing stuff from Ashik. Obviously took pole, now down in P19. Gameful and Curly are making moves. It's obviously a little bit too late now, I'd imagine, on the final lap, but they're both making moves on their inters, so it appears that it is the crossover. The inters are now becoming quicker. So Bonnie looks like he is taking this sprint qualifying pole position. A few more corners. Kane is going to look to have a go, I'd imagine, into this little chicane, but appears to be too far back for a lunge. Well done then to Bonnie, taking P1, Kane P2, Jack Whittle P3, Ehal P4, Carl P5, Curly. Yes, I think Curly managed to gain a position. Carl P5, Kieran P6, so I think it was Paranoid P7. We'll have a little look in just 2 seconds. So yeah, just confirmation then. Bonnie taking P1, Kane P2, Jack Whittle P3, Ehal P4, Carl P5, Kieran P6, Daryl P7, Ralphie P8, Cavalis P9, Wickham P10, Mechanical P11, Curly P12, Gameful P13, El Jobbo P14, Hawko Slade P15, Paranoid P16, Clay P17, Ashik P18, Dylan P19 and Ninja retired from the session. Just starting the formation lap then. Just wait for the game to sort itself out. Here we go then. 5 red lights are out and away we go. Jack Whittle getting a slow start. Allows Kieran and Kyle to go up the Ehau and Kyle to go up the inside. Take that position away. Jack then jumps back into P2 somehow. Kane drop down the order a little bit. We've had an incident. That's Pearl out the safety car already. As that is Dylan with no front wing. Has brought out the virtual safety car. We'll just wait for the race to get underway again. As we are still under virtual. We are back underway. Dylan into the pits, Paranoid into the pits, Clay into the pits, and Wicken into the pits. We have lost Curly. We have lost Curly already. I don't know what happened there, but that's brought out the full safety car this time. So, like I say, we had 4 in the pits, and then Curly lost it on the exit of the final corner, I believe. That's what it appears to be. So there we go then. First safety car of the feature race comes out in lap 2. That's a virtual and a safety car already. as the safety car is in this lap. So here we go then, back underway. Hopefully we can have a few more laps racing than what we've had in this first part of the race. Still a little tyres check for everyone. A few mixed strategies, Gainful obviously going for the softs. Apart from that, everyone else on the mediums or the hards. Ralphie looks to be pushing mechanical through at the moment. So let's see if Ralphie can make a little move on mechanical. Looks to have got the better exit. Has got the better exit. Oh, as mechanical just decides to just... Where's that Ralphie? One of them decides just to make contact for no reason. Well, I mean, it's a move. The move is done, albeit not very cleanly. But it is what it is. Dylan is past Scottish as Walko Slade now jumps up the inside. Ashik jumps in as well. As Ninja picks up 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. And he is retired from the session. So Jack is lining up a move on E-Hull and has been trying to for the last half a lap. So we'll see if he can get it done now, as DRS is enabled this lap, I think. Yep, DRS is enabled this lap. See, I'm really surprised about Ashik down there battling it out with Dylan at the moment. Goes and takes pole position and then has been struggling for the rest of, well, the last 16 laps that he's raced. So we'll see if he can start to find his rhythm. Gainful's tyres, I would imagine, are going to start screaming soon on them softs. as he goes down the inside of Cavalis, which turns to the outside. But he appears to be looking for a switch back, but can't get it done. Here we go into the first corner. Better drive down the main straight. Pretty sure that's the straight that's called the Lewis Hamilton straight now as well, isn't it? Or Sir Lewis Hamilton. So Ralphie lining up a move on Darrell, but again, can't quite make that move stick just yet. So your top 5 are currently in a DRS train. Then there is a DRS train from Kieran all the way down to Hawk. And then everyone else apart from Clay in a DRS train. As mentioned though guys, Clay has changed the wheel. So he will be off the pace tonight till he gets some practice in on it. But that's the nice thing I like about Clayton, is the fact that it doesn't matter what sort of result he has, he will always stay in to the best of his ability. As we have lost Wicken, see if we can jump on board. Oh, lost it out of that. What's that? Maggots and Beckett's. So that brings out the second safety car of this feature race. 1 virtual, 2 spools. And that is now about to start off a chain reaction of pit stops as Clay picks up 5 seconds for speeding in the pits. Worked out well for Gainful though, needing to come off them soft tyres. Now jumps onto the hards, and I'd imagine that them hards can go more than comfortably enough to the end, especially under safety car conditions. Unfortunate for Wicken. A little bit of rust there, I'd imagine, from not racing with a few of the guys trying to push it. But again, as I mentioned before, nice to see him back in the league again. Good to see some old faces rejoining. So I'm sure he will be back in a race in no time. So that's now 3 DNFs. Curly was on safety car restart. Just lost it on the exit. Scottish Ninja was a pit and quit. Not too sure what that was about, whether he had some sort of damage. And then Wicken lost it after the exit of Maggott and Beckett's. Just waiting for the safety car to come back in. The safety car is in this lap. I'd imagine that Bonnie will get us away immediately, as is the case. So here we go then. Start of lap 11. Got Ehau all over the back of him. So your current race net leader is actually Ralphie currently. He has pit onto the hard compound. And he will certainly be able to go to the end. So he has made it past Bonnie. Bonnie, another one of them drivers, very similar to Kane Larry with strategy calls and stuff like this. They understand it to the point where they can make these calls on the fly, and 9 times out of 10 it's a very much an educated guess, but a very good educated guess at that. Jack Whittle looking up the inside of Bonnie gets the move done. But yeah, it's normally a very much an educated guess from those two guys, or a calculated risk, shall I say. And usually the risk does pay off. So we'll see what they've got planned for this evening. I'd imagine that we are going to see another safety car at some point. And if that is the case, the longer this goes on, the longer it is going to benefit Bonnie Kane. So Jack and Ehau need to ideally not waste as much time battling each other as possible and just get on with it. Try and break that gap to Bonnie and Kane, but I don't think that's going to happen by the looks of it. The hards are going to start coming into their own very soon. Gameful's made it past Ralphie as well in the backfield. Ralphie and Gameful having a little ding-dong battle going on. Good driving from them two guys, but they are having a mega battle. Currently on net race leaders, they have pit. Their tyres will be able to go till the end. Ashik then lining up a move on mechanical. Gameful sends up the inside of Mashik. That was close as Ralphie sends it down the outside. Can't quite get it done, so backs out. Lovely little battle this is for P8. P7s, shall I say. This is big DRS training forming now. But DRS has been enabled, so let's see if Jack can close back up to the back of Ehau. And he has done so. We are currently halfway through this race. So Great Britain is usually a slow burner, and I feel like this is going to be that race. It's not been the most eventful or exciting start to the race, but it usually brings in a little surprise towards the end. So let's see what surprise it's going to bring us today, if any. Here goes Jack Whittle then, looks to go around the outside of Ehal, gets a dumb for the braking zone. Nice little move from Jack. And a good little addition recently. He's a quick driver, showing real good pace. Clean driver as well. So hopefully he can keep that up. Bonnie is pit. Bonnie's pulled the trigger. So I'd imagine that this is now going to create a chain reaction between Jack, Ehal and Kane Lowry. Ehal and Jack need to get in now if they're going to be able to do anything about the undercut that is eventually going to be happening. Excuse me, from Body Valve. Walko Slade is going to want to pit again then as well. I've just realised he is on the soft compound and has done 5 laps so far on them. So he definitely won't be able to go to the end. Carl Trim has now jumped onto the back of this top 3. So let's see what happens with the pit stop phase. It's about 30-second total pit stop round here, so this is going to be tight for them guys as they've stayed out. They've decided to stay out, so I think Bonnie is going to get the undercut. But let's see. Sorry guys. Let's see what sort of tyre offset the top 4 can have on Bonnie. So they opted against pitting. So they are going to be looking at the overcut on Bonnie. But obviously, as you guys well know, the undercut is so powerful in this game with brand new tyres. You just take seconds out of people that are on old tyres. They haven't decided to pit, still stayed out. I think this could be a bit of a mistake from these guys. You know, I think they're all going to be looking to switch onto the soft compounder tyres, which is going to be great, but I don't think they're going to be making up the time that they're going to be needing to on Bonnie. Bonnie has just taken a second out of the guy ahead of him within half a lap. So he will be closing up to the back of Clay anytime soon. Still a big train behind Kieran, as well as we've lost Dylan. Dylan's had a little moment. It's unfortunate for him. Bonnie manages to get past him without causing too much time loss, which is a good thing as well for him. Bad thing for your top three. Carl's just fell off the back of these guys. Here we go then. Jack's in. Ehau is in. Carl is in. Kieran also is in. That's unfortunate for Kieran. Got caught up on a double stack there. He's lost a little bit of time to the cars ahead. So here we go then. Jack's on the softs, Ehau's on the softs, Carl's on the softs, Kieran is on the mediums, Bonnie is in the pits. What happened there? Interesting. So Bonnie has jumped onto the soft compounder tyre now. Safety car, that makes sense then. Safety car's out. That's a mega strategy call from Bonnie. Let's see if it pays out for him though. That's worked out massively for Jack, Ehau, Carl. Not so much for Kane. It's given that all them guys a free pit stop. So we did end up losing Dylan. I didn't see what happened. I was trying to pay attention to what was going on track, trying to get my little head around it. So this is given like I say, it's given a free pit stop to Jack Whittle, Ehau, Carl, Kieran. Another free pit stop for Bonnie as well. This has hindered Kane massively. Ralphie, that's unfortunate for him, picks up 5 seconds speed in the pits. He was going well. Where does Mr. Lowry come out then? Where does Mr. Lowry come out? He might just keep his lead here. It looks like he is going to as well. Yeah, he's managed to keep it. That's mega stuff from Kane there. So where else does all the rest of them come out? Remember guys, if you see a car coming out the pit, you're not to overtake it. Rules are rules, don't try and cheat. Paid off massively then for them top three. Not so much for Bonnie. Bonnie's still down in P15. That has destroyed him. But he had to do something. So I do understand why he made that call. He had to do something about it. It's just unfortunate really. So everyone pretty much on the soft compounder tyres, and it is going to be about 7 or 8 lap sprint till the end. I'm going to take this opportunity to quickly go to the toilet. So I'd imagine that the safety car is going to come in this lap. The safety car is in this lap. Kane Lowry will get us underway again. And away we go then. Kane has caught Jack sleeping a little bit. Jack now has a 3-second time penalty and Ehau is breathing down his throat. Ehau makes the move then. Ehau has got the move done. Gameful's trying to get involved in this as well. Yeah, cutthroat racing from them guys. Here we go then, Gameful around the outside. Gameful gets them both. Just turns to the inside, which is now, he's going to keep the inside on Ehau. There we go then. Gameful gains a place out of all of that. Let's see if Gameful can take Jack Whittle as well while he's at it. He looks down the inside. Ooh. Gameful has a big bit of lag jump across the street. That wasn't very helpful. Ehau still trying to get close to Gameful, but Ralphie is now all over the back of Ehau. And Kane Lowry then just picking up the fastest lap. Bonnie making a move on Paranoid Nil Jobbo. Gets it done. So that's another position gained for Bonnie. Ashik still sitting down there in P14, so he hasn't been able to find his groove in this race. This DRS is enabled this lap. So let's see what sort of move Gameful can make then with the help of DRS. As well as Ralphie. Ralphie looking very pacey here. So here we go then. Gameful's got DRS open, overtake switched on. Whoa, lagging all over the place. Well, it wasn't ideal. I'm not too sure what happened, but Gameful looked to make a move and then lag, so I'm not too sure about that one. But he's still within DRS of Jack. Kane is just sort of walking away with it. So here we go then. Gameful gets that move done before the braking zone this time. P2 for Gameful. Started on the softs, went to the hards, now back onto the softs. So 2-stop for him, but it's working. Big shout out to Clay as well on P16. Mentioned it a couple of times tonight, but he is on the wheel instead of his usual pad. Hence why he's so far off the pace. Doing really, really well. Still in this. In the lobby. Still just pushing on. It's the type of drivers I like to see in the lobby. Just carry on racing. Anything can happen. Late safety cars. Disconnects. Points are points. So Gameful is gaining ever so slightly on Kane, but has drained the battery to make that a possibility. See how it's comfortable with his ERS at the moment, but will start coming under pressure from Ralphie behind. So pretty much your top 5 apart from Ehal and Gameful, not Gameful, sorry, and Kane have drained their batteries. So is this going to make Ehal's life a little bit easier on his quest to make a move past Jack? Can't get it done just there, just yet. But Jack is closing up to the back of Gameful once again. And as I say that, he started to drop back ever so slightly. So we are on the penultimate lap of this race. Let's see what penalties everyone has got then. The Jack's on 3, Ralphie on 5, Carl on 5, Hawk, O'Slade on 3, Paranoid 6, Daryl, sorry, on 3, El Jobbo 6, Clay 9. So with that 3-second penalty, Ehal just needs to sit behind. As I'm guessing, Gameful must have had a little moment, or has run out of fuel. I don't know what's happened to Gameful, but he is dropped into the clutches of everyone. On the penultimate lap as well. But again, just needs to stay within 3 seconds of Jack, and he will gain from this. As we start the final lap of this race. I did tell you it will chuck up a few surprises. I thought Gameful was looking quite comfortable up there, and now he looks a little bit flustered. Just needs to stay within the 3-second gap. Jack is pushing, Carlton is making a move on Ralphie up the inside. Is he? He's trying to. Thinks better of it though. Has got Mechanical there for company. Poor Carl. As Cavalis and Mechanical are wheel banging. That now brings Hawk into play. Hawk has made it past Cav. As Gameful chucks it up the inside of Jack. Gets the move done. Is Ehal going to do the same? Ehal, just be sensible. Lovely job. Goes round the outside. What a move. Oh, just slides right at the end. There's a little moment right at the end. That was a real good attempt as well. Good effort. So there we go then. Kane Lowry P1. Gameful P2. Ehal P3. Cavalis P4. Kieran P5. Mechanical P6. Bonnie P7. Jack Whittle P8 in the end. Orko Soleil P9, Carl Trim P10, Ashik P11, Ralphie chops all the way to P12, Daryl P13, Paranoid P14, El Jobbo P15, and Clay is going to round out your finishes in P16. Real good work from him. As Ralphie has decided to leave before the session is over. Everyone has been reminded of what happens when you decide to leave before the race is over. You end up DNFing. So that might become a bit of an issue in the next hour. So, just confirmation then. Kane taking P1, Gameful P2, Ehal P3, Cav P4, Kieran P5, Mechanical P6, Bonnie P7 in the end, Jack Whittle P8, Orko Soleil P9, Carl P10, Ashik P11, Daryl P12, Paranoid P13, El Jobbo P14, says Clay P15, but it was actually Ralphie that was, I believe, P13 or 14. Dylan, Wicken, Ninja, Scottish Ninja, and Curly were your DNFs. I will just catch that. Lovely job. Right, so Kane, Gameful, and E into my lobby. Ehal, Kane, and Mr. Gameful, where are you? There he is. Invites have been sent, gents. as we have two in, we're just waiting for Ehal. Ehal, if you're listening, you've got 2 minutes to get in. So we will start with Mr. Gameful Odds. Good evening, Gameful. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good evening. I am good, my brother. And you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah, I'm not too bad,
Good.
thank you, buddy. That was a bit of a slow burning race, to say the least. A bit of an anticlimactic start, but a very climactic end. Talk us through it from your
Yes.
point of view, then, buddy. What was the thinking behind the softs?
Um, well, I was a lot further back than I usually would be. So I had to try something a little differently. Plus, at Silverstone, um, a safety car is very likely. So my strategy was to start on the soft, try to make up as many positions as possible, and hopefully the safety car comes out in a period where I can take the hards to the end, and it was perfect. I think it came out on lap 8 or lap 9, so that was perfect. So I went on the hards because I know that I could take them to the end, and the pit stop in Silverstone is a lot of time. So I knew that once I pit early, if my tires go off in the end, the guys that didn't pit ahead of me, they would have ended up way back behind. So that worked out well until the last safety car. um, so then I had to really fight because some of the guys were really aggressive. So I had to really fight to get P2, but Kane Lowry disappeared. So that was that.
Yeah, obviously, on stream there was a few what appeared to be wheel bangs, may have been lag spikes, but yeah, it did look like you had a quite a battle on your hand, shall we say, to put it politely.
Yeah,
Um,
I definitely did.
but to be fair, game four, that's a cracking result from you, bud. It's nice to obviously have you back onto the podium again. How's your season been for you so far, in your own personal opinion?
It started off decently well. I think I gave a good showing for my second season. This being my second season in Tier 2. But then after the break, yeah, well, the last race and then the first race after the break, I had two DNFs. So I really wanted to make sure that I did a solid result in Silverstone. So I think that I'm happy with this one. I don't think I can challenge for the championship anymore. That was something that I was looking at in the earliest stages. But going to just try to finish the season as strong as I possibly can from here on in.
Yeah, no, definitely, buddy. Good start to the season, like you say, and sort of tailed off a little bit, but hopefully you can now find your form for the last few races of the season and find your feet going into next season, where hopefully we'll have a championship fight in our hands.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, Gameful.
Alrighty, buddy. You
We
too.
will now join Ehal. Good evening, Ehal. Yeah, how are you, buddy? That was as I said, the Gameful just before you jumped in. It was a bit of a slow burning race to start off with. It wasn't as exciting as maybe what we would all thought, but definitely an exciting end to that race. Talk us through it from your perspective, then, buddy. Did it go as planned as much as possible on your part? That's a massive achievement as well for you. To be fair. So yeah, a little bit of another a week of off the cuff strategies. I love off the cuff strategies. I think they're brilliant. But obviously a good showing from you. Your season, I think you'd agree with me. It hasn't gone your way through disconnects and all sorts of other things. It hasn't really gone your way. So, how has your season gone, in your own words? Very, very mature response there. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you that pace has always been very, very good. Race hasn't always gone in your favour, and the disconnects definitely haven't gone in your favour. So hopefully this is a new beginning for you. You can start to find your feet again towards the end of the season, and again, like Gainful, you can have a little bit of a championship battle on your hands next season. Ehal, great drive today, buddy. Great drive. Well done. Good evening. We are now joined by our race winner and my Aston Martin teammate. Get in there, Kane.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
It's another solid drive from you. From my point of view, it looked like you'd made the wrong strategy call with staying out when Bonnie decided to pit for the undercut. What was going through your head when that safety car came out? Did you think you may have just lost that lead?
No, I was pretty sure that I made the right call staying out, and I can keep the lead after I exit the pit. So, and that's what happened. So I'm quite glad about it.
Yeah, like I say, from our perspective, especially on comms, it looked a little bit touch and go. I thought personally that that last safety car would have hindered you, but you managed to make it work again, Kane. Just talk us through what goes through your head on a race weekend with these strategies. Is it a planned strategy, or like the safety car, for example? I know that wasn't planned, but do you go into a race with a strategy in mind, or is it just let's just start on a tyre and see where it goes?
Yeah, usually I have a strategy planned out, but this weekend I didn't have much time to practice, so I just went with what the game was giving me, and I look at what Bonnie was doing. So I was thinking about going with the opposite strategy, but then I went with the hearts at the start, and I knew that I can pull off a soft strategy also, and without any safety cars. So
Yeah, no, it's a really good strategy call from you yet again. Some more points back on Bonnie Val this evening, which is probably a nice feeling for you. Some more points as well for the constructors. From my point of view, I think it's been a fairly solid season from you. But from your perspective and in your own words, how's the season gone for you?
yeah, I haven't had maybe one bad result is so far. I had a little spin at Las Vegas, but other than that, I've been on the podium, and I think this is my second win this season. So it's been quite a promising first season in Tier 2. But I've been missing a few races rest of the season. So I'm out of the championship battle.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to hear. Obviously, that can't be helped. That is one of those things. Um, but I would imagine that this isn't the last time we're going to see you on the podium in Tier 2 this season or next season or going forward at all, Kane. Really solid
Yeah,
drive as well from you
I hope so.
again. Really mature drive. So yeah, just congratulations, buddy. That's another solid result.
Yeah, thanks. It was a nice battle with my left calf. It started cramping on the mm, what's that before the race?
Pass. Maggots and Beggots.
Um, when we decide the grid, oh, it slipped out of my mind. Qualifying, yeah, it started cramping in the qualifying, so it was a pain in the ass to drive the race.
Bloody hell, 38 laps with cramped up calf. That's some going. Really is some going. So it's another great drive from you, Kane. Good work, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
So that concludes this evening's interviews. Um, Next week we are in Singapore, same time, 8:30. If not, guys, join us on Sunday for Tier 3 around the same place, Silverstone, Great Britain. I've been your host this evening, King Luckman, and I hope to see you all next week for, like I say, Singapore. This is King Luckman over, and